I find it really interesting when, first of all, I love couples. I've been with couples. I find it interesting when, a woman enjoys watching her boyfriend or husband getting cocked. You know, whether she joins in or just watching. I've personally myself been with couples. The last time I was with a couple, he watched me and her, and then he joined in, and then he wanted to get effed, and I did. And she went underneath him and was giving him oral while I was inside of him. And I've also spoken to guys and couples too who, you know, never been interested or thought of being with someone with a cock until their girlfriend, got them into it. Like, I was talking to this one guy who was saying, I was never interested. It's not something I thought of or anything like that before until, my girlfriend kept like wanting me to be with a guy and, you know, they met up with a guy and he was getting effed and she was watching and playing with herself while she was watching. My question is like, what happens one day when, if let's say one day that you, the woman, don't want to see your boyfriend or know that your boyfriend is still getting effed by a cock. Like, what if one day that, you don't want that? Are you gonna go to your boyfriend and say, or husband and say, yeah, I don't want you to do it anymore. It's like opening Pandora's box. Like, once you open the box, you can't close it. And I always thought about that, like, for the woman, like, what happens if one day that, you're not, you don't want that anymore. You don't want your boyfriend or your husband to be into that anymore. And he says, no, I'm still gonna do it because you introduced me to it, or you knew that I was into that. So what are you gonna do? You're just gonna say, well, you know what, I'm gonna break up with you, or, you know, if you, choose between me and that, I just always thought about that. And I think it's great that when you have, a couple and everything is out in the open and you can share and talk about things. But what happens if one day, one person may not be into that and they don't want you to be into that, like, But I think for women, you have to really think about, like, if your boyfriend or husband is genuinely at the moment not into cock and you push it on him and get him into it, just think about, what if one day I don't want to see my husband or boyfriend or know that my husband or boyfriend is getting cock? Like, it's like you're opening Pandora's box. It's a little bit different if, he was doing it before you met him and you found out and, but when and he's telling you that, I'm not into that and you keep like, come on, baby, I want you to, you know, that's something different than just you finding out, like, when you first met him and then he told you that that was what he's into. Completely different from you introducing him into getting cock, like, oh, baby, I want to see you, give oral to someone with a cock, or I want you to take it. I think it would be so hot, and like the guy, one of the guys that I was talking to, he's like, ever since my girlfriend introduced me to it, I cannot get enough. Like, I just have to get cock all the time. Like, he's so into it. Like, even when she's not around to watch, he's doing it without her. Because now he's just so into it. Like, he just can't get enough. So think about that. It's like you're opening Pandora's box.